On October 1st, 2011, the Public Safety Realignment Act was implemented. This is the most sweeping change in adult community supervision in over 100 years. The Public Safety Realignment Act transfers responsibility for the incarceration, treatment, and supervision of specified adult felony offenders from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to local county governments. For Orange County, this means more offenders will be incarcerated in the Orange County jail system and more offenders will be supervised by the Orange County Probation Department. The Public Safety Realignment Act is the state's response to the chronic overcrowding conditions found in the California state prison system. On December 31, 2009, the institutional population of CDCR was 168,830. The bed capacity for all CDCR institutions and camps was 84,056. This means the prison population was 185% over its design capacity. There were also several class action lawsuits filed against the state of California regarding the conditions inside the prisons. In 2009, a 3-judge panel ordered the state to reduce the prison population. In 2011, the United States Supreme Court ordered the state of California to reduce its prison population by 34,000 inmates. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation estimates that once realignment is fully implemented in 3 years, approximately 3,500 additional offenders previously supervised by parole will be supervised by the Probation Department. There will not be a sudden spike in the number of inmates being released from prison, but this population will slowly grow over time as they are released on their normal release dates. Realignment creates 2 additional populations for the Probation Department to supervise. The first of these populations will be released under Post-Release Community Supervision, or PCS. These are convicted felons that were previously supervised by parole. Prior to October 1st, much of this population was released under the terms of non-revocable parole. Now, they will have a much higher level of supervision and accountability as they will be actively supervised by probation officers. To be eligible for post-release community supervision, the current conviction charge must be a nonviolent offense pursuant to California Penal Code Section 667.5, lowercase c in parentheses, a non-serious offense pursuant to California Penal Code Section 1192.7, lowercase c in parentheses, and not a high-risk sex offender as defined by CDCR. These offenders can have a serious or violent conviction in their past, but the current offense must be a nonviolent, non-serious offense. There will be some sex offenders released under this program who are not determined by CDCR to be high-risk sex offenders. These inmates will have 2 business days to report to the Probation Department after their release from prison. If they fail to report, a bench warrant will be requested by the assigned probation officer. The terms and conditions for release under PCS are very similar to those of probation, including a 4th Amendment waiver of search and seizure, and are listed under Penal Code Section 3452. The second population created by realignment is offenders who were previously sent to state prison upon their conviction, but now will serve their commitments and a period of supervision at the local level. These offenders will be sentenced and supervised under a new form of community supervision called Supervised Release. These offenders are sometimes called non-non-nons because, to be eligible for Supervised Release, their current conviction charges and any prior convictions must be nonviolent, non-serious, and non-sex-related offenses. These offenders will serve a period of time in custody and then be released back into the community on supervised release to the Probation Department. The amount of custody time served at the local level could be quite lengthy, maybe even several years. Afterward, they are released for a period of community supervision on terms very similar to the current terms of probation. If they fail to report for supervision, a bench warrant will be requested by the assigned probation officer.
The PCS offenders have search and seizure and will have conditions similar to probation. The supervised release offenders, it will be determined by the court what their terms and conditions and if they have search and seizure. As a probation officer, we have several options available when dealing with a violation. We have increased supervision. We have the use of GPS monitoring devices. We have what's called a 10-day flash incarceration where the person can go to jail for anywhere from 1 to 10 days. And then the most severe is revocation with a maximum of 180 days. All of this would be served at the local level, at the local jail. With this population, the PCS population, for violations, and that's excluding new law violations, so just on a technical violation, the most that they can serve is 180 days in custody, and it will always be served at the local level.